And here we go. Welcome back to the Boston TNR from Boylston Street, downtown Boston. It's a beautiful day in Boston outside. And we're here, day 5, session 2 of the 2021 National League. This is what it's all come down to. This is the final game, and the game where everything stands to win. We are the current standings are as follows. There is basically 5 points between New England and Tuxedo, with 7 points at play here today. New England are 5 points ahead, and so that leaves them needing 2 points to win the tournament. The big news of the day is that Tim Chisholm is going to play. Now, I saw Tim very briefly in the club earlier. I shouted to him, "Are you going to play?" He shouted back, "Yes," and that was it. So we'll see where we get to. But the news is that we're going to get a full afternoon of tennis, as we think. The lineup, the first match of the day is going to be Tony Hollins versus Leon Smart, two guys that know each other very well, having worked together in the Boston club for a long time. We then get a set of doubles, which will be Chisholm and Smart versus Hollins and versus Gooding and Riviere. And then we'll finish up with the number 1 game, Tim Chisholm versus Camden Riviere. I saw Camden in the bar just before this game, warming up, looking very serious indeed. I don't think Camden has a second gear. So you can expect Camden to give this everything he's got. He is here for a win, and we are very excited to see him play. With me in the commentary booth, we've got Ken Fortin and Freddie Adams. Freddie, what's been your highlight of the week so far as you've been here watching these games?
Well, I think I only arrived yesterday, but it's just so wonderful to see everybody, to have all the top players in the U.S. here, and to see all the variety and technical know-how, and just to be back competing. It's just such a treat.
I think that's how we all feel. I think we missed it so much with the year that was out, and to have a game like this has just been fantastic, or a tournament like this. What do you think of the format, having all these games going on in such a short proximity? Do you think that's a good thing, something to be repeated, or is it better spread out?
Well, on the one hand, it's wonderful to have everybody here, comparing notes after what's been quite a year plus. At the same time, as you were saying, it's going to risk some injuries, and also players who are already coming back from pretty serious surgery, injuries. We all know how tough it is to have one full day of competitive tennis, but to have 4 or 5 days, it's a lot. So let's just hope they survive. They've survived the pandemic, hopefully, and they're going to survive this first weekend back.
Well, so now Barney Tanfield is your marker today. And, of course, Barney has been one of those injury victims. So I was talking to him earlier. He had a sore hip when he was on court. I said, "How's it going?" He sort of waved his hand like in a sort of touch-and-go motion and said he's just going to have to see next week. I mean, that really goes to show how punishing this game can be, doesn't it? That we've had so many injuries this week.
Yeah, and in Barney's case, most of these pros are club professionals as well. And we all, we know coming from other sports too, that, one hour you're on court feeding balls and encouraging somebody, and then if you've got to go play a tournament that weekend, that's not the best training for competitive tennis. But they managed to do it. Like we were saying yesterday, everybody's really up their game on all their off-court training. And
all right, now we're about to kick off in a minute, but let's just call out one guy who's been such a big part of this tournament, and that's Mr. Ryan Carey, who's responsible for all the video production and everything you're seeing here today. Absolutely phenomenal job. I think everybody, certainly in the commentary booth, appreciates the work you've been doing. I just jumped in earlier to take a photo, and there is Ryan's corner on the screen right now. You can see all the technical wizardry that he's got here, and I don't know how many miles of cables you've laid, Ryan. But he doesn't know either.
I was speaking with Ryan last night about some of the difficulties he had setting everything up. He said that, believe it or not, everything that you're seeing is backup at this point. None of the primary equipment that he brought was working correctly together, and somehow, even with that fact, he is able to give us this fairly incredible presentation. I mean, 5 days of tennis, 8 hours a day. That's a whole work week.
It certainly is.
He was here quite a few days ahead of time, running wire all over the place. Some of us here at the TNR know how terrible this space is for wireless. It's a very difficult spot. Took the TNR years to work out having a microphone in the markers box just in time for markers to start marking from the date on. So perfect timing at the TNR as usual.
All right, now we're not long before we kick off here now. They've just cleared the balls. Play was scheduled to start at 2. Obviously, it's Leon Smart for Tuxedo versus Tony Hollins.
I think this would be a good time also to bring up a great hero of the club, Dev Hamlin. Dev is responsible for, basically the continued existence of the club, along with a few others, but he was really the moving force. The fact that the roof was fixed is largely due to his pushing us forward, and he's the room that we're in is named after him, the Hamlin Room, former pro shop in an earlier life. Dev is a strong supporter of the game. He holds many tennis and rackets titles. He's one of the governors on our board of governors. He's a former president of the club, I think for probably a good 20 years. Also an avid rackets player, avid ice hockey fan and player. I mean, not too long ago, I talked to him about a big ice hockey tour.
I think the club would not be here without him, are we? Now it's looking like we're almost ready to go.
Yep, I think we'll turn it over to Barney.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the final match in the 2021 National League. We have New England versus Tuxedo. Receiving serve in this first of the series matches. Receiving serve for Tuxedo is Leon Smart. Serving for New England, we have Tony Hollins. We are playing the first 2 out of 3 sets, 3-all in the event of a third set. We're going to play 1 deuce and then 40-all, with the exception of if any of the sets go to 5-all, we will play full deuce at that stage. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Love all, first set.
So here we go, we're off. Great serve from Tony. Now Tony's he's been quite annoyed with himself this week for not winning against Josh Dodgson, but really his play was pretty good, I would say.
I'd have to agree with that. Tony, maybe despite the outcome of some of his matches here, has been playing some of the best tennis I've seen him play.
Now, in terms of history, obviously, these guys both work together at the Boston club, so they know each other very well. Now, for a large portion of that time, Tony was carrying an injury, and so Leon was the #1 player. I don't think they've played each other competitively since that time. So it will be interesting to see today how they compare, and it will be a good measure to see how far back from his injury Tony is by gauging his performance against Leon here.
I'm sure they both want to win this match pretty badly.
Well, there's Mike Gooding in the background there. Again, the entire winner of the tournament depends on the outcome of today's matches. Tuxedo would need to win everything to win, but I'm sure they're going to give it their best shot. There's nobody out there that doesn't want to win. Also, this is the first competitive tennis for a while. Leon just walking back to the grill there, smiling, looking pretty relaxed. Well, he's a kind of relaxed kind of guy, I suppose, Leon, isn't he?
Off court. Of course, on court, he's a bit of a hothead from time to time.
First chase is a Hazard. Hazard the second gallery.
He's been very measured and controlled all throughout the 2021 National League.
On the chase, call up. Receiver leads 30-15. Chase last gallery. Chase the last gallery.
Last gallery.
All right now.
Whenever you want to say a few hellos, I've got a couple people.
Oh, Tony, that was an easy one.
30-all.
No such thing.
says the guy on the bar stool. and so say I from my comfy chair.
That was an easy one from the commentary box.
Yes, exactly. What did he do that for? All he had to do was not miss it.
All he had to do was hit it. You know what they say the secret of this game is? Put it over the net.
Yeah.
Get it back.
Win the last point.
That's right. Oh, that would have been a pass.
Yeah, this game, I have to say, you know, compared to some other sports, it's especially in the United States, it's relatively easy to see live the very best players in this sport, and you know, with the help of Ryan's streaming and some other streaming in the world, you can watch these matches over and over again, and you start to think like, oh, I just need to do these things that, you know, these people are doing, and you get out there and you can't do one of them. And I think, you know, part of it is down to this incredible footwork that pros at this level have, and they just make these shots look easier because they know where to be. They're not gargoyles out there like I represent in my play.
Couple of cut volleys now that Tony's done there. They've just come out. They're sort of bouncing off the back wall out to chase 4 or chase 5, which is just too long. Tony needs to get those cut volleys a little bit shorter. There's another one.
That's better.
Now, for anybody tuning in to the last set of matches and maybe expecting to see a final, there is no final in this format. It's just points accumulated throughout the 5 days of play, and those total points determine who the winner is and who the runners-up are.
Did we go through the points yet?
Yes, I think
2 points.
Oh yes,
2 points to win for New England, and Tuxedo needs the full 7.
That's right.
That's right.
So New England very much in the lead at the moment.
Yep. Each singles match is worth 2 points. The doubles is worth 1, and then the team with the majority of points gets 2 additional points.
1-0 to Smart.
So if Tony does not win, then either, I mean, basically, if Tony doesn't win, Camden has to win, because the doubles will not be enough to get the 2 points. So, see how I did my maths there?
Maths, that's right.
Maths. I also know that pants means underwear.
Are we going British?
I know a lot of your words.
John said the word
British.
sneakers yesterday, and
Oh,
immediately my meter went off saying trainers.
Trainers, of course.
Ben,
How dare someone say aluminum? It's aluminium, you moron.
30-40.
just before we get to any of the real serious points, Ben Gatenbeek has said you left us hanging on where Chase 7 is,
Oh,
which of course I didn't answer because the earlier match got cut short. So 2 hours out of Melbourne, of course, is the Romsey Court, and I had the privilege of playing there about 18 months ago, and it's quite a unique court. It was built out of prefab concrete, and because of the geometry of the prefabricated concrete, it's just a slightly different length to other courts. Wonderful place to play, wonderful part of the world. It's actually in a vineyard, and is stunningly beautiful. But because of this prefabricated concrete, it's just slightly longer than normal courts, and so it has just a slightly longer dimension than most courts.
I think that should be a new requirement of all courts to be built from this day hence. They must be built in a vineyard. I would very much like the wine world and the tennis world to converge 100%.
Well, you know what they say about the Melbourne club. It's a drinking club with a tennis problem.
Yes, that could be said of most of our clubs.
Oh,
someone told me that Leamington Spa is a gambling club with a tennis problem. So that sounds even better.
Tamba.
Leon just running those balls down.
Oh, he misread it. He thought it was going past Tamba, and it just clipped the edge.
Yes, that can happen here in Boston, the timbre.
There are a lot of crazy features in this game. I have to say, most people, when I bring them to watch the sport, they can't figure out the chase. They don't understand the winning openings. But the first time they see the ball hit the tambour and ricochet across the court, they're like, what? Who the heck put that there? All I can think, I know you're deep into the history of the game, Freddie. Any idea how exactly the tambour became a regular feature of the court?
Well, like a lot of the things in tennis and the elements of the court, we don't really know the origin, but tambour means drum in French.
Okay.
And so one theory is that it wasn't always made of brick or stone, and that maybe if it was a wood structure, that buttress element maybe, as well, that when the ball struck the wood that it made the sound like a drum, or it had to do with the sound of the hit. But we don't know. But the timbre is an ancient element of the court. It was definitely part of the.
All right. Great to see you.
Right, hold on a second.
Might have just heard Steve Vergona in the background there. He's leaving the club. Obviously not the end of the game that he was hoping for, pulling out with his injury. The word is that he said he was receiving a railroad and just twisted that tender ankle a little bit, which is why he just pulled out in the earlier game. Hopefully we wish him a full recovery and appreciate him turning up here.
Leon Smart off to a bang-up start here. Been some excellent points, but Leon's pulled ahead 3-love. 2 chases now.
First chase nearly a yard worse.
John Murphy says Romsey once had a tambour faced with wood. Is it still there? It was there at least 18 months ago, John. Which was when I played.
Boy, that must play differently, huh?
Well, the whole court plays differently. It's got a glass back wall, and some of the walls are breeze blocks, which tends to absorb some of the power.
And is that a oh, nice shot, Tony. Daydon always wins it.
Receiver leads.
There's never a bad Daydon shot.
Even a temple drop. Drop lob into the dead on.
Drop lob.
Well, I went to a cherry blossom once. I believe it was number 15.
Where's the cherry blossom, just for the viewers?
Cherry blossom is at Prince's Court in Washington, which won't be playable for a whole lot longer because Washington has just raised an incredible amount of money incredibly quickly to build a replacement court as their lease is running out in the building where the court is right now. But in that cherry blossom number 15, which I think was Kentucky Derby themed, there. Cheeky. Look at the smile on his face.
Leon smiles.
The smile even comes through the beard. We had a competition from the hazard side trying to hit that grassy lob into the Daydon. Now, because I played a good bit with Helen, I think I came in second in that competition. I was quite good at the bouncer, very high, land about 2 and 3, and then bounce in. You see that some in the amateur game. Of course, professional would laugh at you if you tried to, attack a short chase by lobbing it through the rafters. But
well, it always depends on what serve you get.
Yep.
Desperate times.
I am definitely. It's still part of my toolbox. No matter who I play against.
Tony just pulled back a game there, so it's 1-3 now. I've just noticed Tony must have noticed that he was a little bit loose with his returns, because he's fired a couple of great forehands into the corners. That's not one of them, but that was all he could play.
Hey now.
30-15.
Tony beat himself up there. I don't think there was much he could do about that. But if you just watch, Tony is certainly attacking this end a little bit more aggressively now.
A lot of high sidewall serves this. Oh, very good.
Well,
that's a tough ball to pick off.
Well, Leon's bobbles are pretty tight, and Leon's worked out that when he bobbles, what's he going to do here? High one.
Oh.
He's getting back easy.
How did
boasts.
Tony get that back at all?
Yeah, but look, it's a soft boast.
Game scores.
Tony needs to find an attacking weapon against these serves of Leon's.
Or just get out of there. Quick.
There's another one.
Gallery.
You were both complimenting John Lumley as possible player of the tournament, and one of the things John did so well against Camden yesterday is just As soon as he got to the receiving end and the chases were done, he was looking at the galleries, get back to the service end.
Yep. That seems to be a popular Rob Fahey strategy these days as well. Get off that hazard end.
We've got Evie Smart in the chat. Good luck to my brother Leon, watching from the UK. Love
All right.
Evie, Zach, Mum and Dad. It's a lovely message. Evie, it's great to have you with us. Thanks for giving your brother a shout out. I got to know Leon pretty well while he was here in Boston. And you can be very proud of your brother. He's a wonderful man.
A newlywed.
Newlywed, of course.
A New Jersey resident.
So he married Rebecca. Live in New Jersey. We've bought a house now.
Yep. Right around the corner from my in-laws.
30-15.
Funny enough. Literally right around the corner.
I won't ask your opinion of your in-laws on a public stream.
They're both with God right now, so they were amazing.
I think I'll leave that one there.
Oh, look at Tony.
Come on, Tony, in the galleries now.
It's just not. There we go.
Yes.
Hey!
I'd say that might even have been by mistake, but
He'll take it.
blessed mistake.
So I've got a couple shout outs. So
Please.
And also we just want to say hello to everyone in the UK. It's dinner time. And if you're watching, welcome. And big shout out to Ben Meeky and everyone at Queen's. I miss you guys. And Ben, thanks for getting in touch. And then an hour later, we've got France watching. So Philippe Bordenave, greetings, salut, bonsoir.
30-15. First chase is a hazard, worse than 1 yard.
I think Philippe was watching yesterday as well.
We had a few people from the Paris Club or who had been at the Paris Club when when AJ was professional there watching, which is really nice to see the support.
40-15, this chase is
Bienvenue à nos téléspectateurs français. I learned to speak to the French in Paris. Every time I went to buy a crepe, if I spoke in French, I seemed to get a cheaper price than if I spoke in English.
Game 5-1, first set.
All right, so we were wondering how Tony was going to get on here against his old pro partner. So far, the answer is Leon is dominating. It's 5-1 now in games. I've got to say, I'm quite surprised.
Leon had a bit of a purple patch there for those 3-4 games on the service end. Tony got stuck in the receiving end. Never fun.
What's a purple patch?
The zone.
Oh, I see.
Good zone.
Can't be a Britishism, I don't guess.
I don't think that's a British thing.
Here's a British thing I fail to understand. Beans on toast. It just seems too starchy. Is that a wartime delicacy?
It's one of the most wonderful dishes on the planet.
But you're a Vegemite person too, aren't you?
At my house here in America, I've got both Vegemite and Marmite.
Oh my lord!
I get it from World Foods. I prefer Vegemite.
You've lost all your credibility on the food front then. How do you take your Vegemite? You put it on a little toast?
A little toast, yeah. I have it for breakfast every morning. Vegemite on toast.
Of course, I think the first time Americans had ever heard of Vegemite was men at work.
He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. That is a seriously good album. I don't know what your opinion is of Colin Hay and the boys, but
Oh, they're legends.
I think it's a very entertaining record. That and maybe the two records afterwards, quite something.
All right, another point to Leon there. No, point to Tony.
Better than second.
Oh.
Where are we? No, it was point to Leon.
This is it. Set ball.
So set ball, 40-15. Right, what can Tony do here?
Voted it the wrong way. My apologies.
Men at
Tony.
work, John Murphy says. Thanks, John. I thought we'd gone off on a bit of a tangent there. John's been so engaged all day. John, I think he used to be the president of Newport, did he?
It certainly was.
John, obviously an avid lover of the game.
And another ambassador of tennis. I mean, what event has John Murphy not played in?
What's Leon going to do here? Drops it into the corner. Tony can't return it. 40-30.
Okay. Now we're at set
Now we're
ball.
at set point. There was confusion there for a second.
Use some balls, gentlemen.
John's asking about Laredo Masip, who was the pro in Paris before they regrouped, restructured. And he was a disciple of Pierre, and also from the Basque Country. I had a lesson or a hit with Laredo. I remember my
Oh, really?
first time
Wow.
in Paris to play tennis. Yeah.
What was your memory of it?
So, well, he was a Pierre fan, so it was quite interesting actually to just have a few technical pointers and
A lot
also
of
things
shots
like
for length.
yeah, and also I mean Paris is quite an unusually bouncy courted probably. So what do you do with the serve?
I would love to know what accounts for the bounciness of courts or severity of courts. It seems like the courts that are built into solid ground are more
40-30.
severe.
Serve release.
If there's any sort of air underneath the court, it seems a
Hang on, big point here.
bit more bouncy. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
That was an
First.
ace and the first set. What a way to win the first set.
Leon picked a good time to
Hold on a second.
And that
serve that ball.
That ball just clung to the back wall on the way through, didn't it? I think that's really helping Leon at the moment. Tony hasn't got a great answer to these serves.
Well, Leon's game has improved immensely since he first played here in the U.S. Open a number of years ago. Maybe 2017. Played against Claire Fahey.
I remember watching that match.
That's a good shot, Tony.
Were you here for that, Freddie? I don't remember.
No, I watched online.
The stream. Ryan Carey Productions.
Well,
2021 National League brought to you by the USCTA, the USCTPF, and East Ham Capital.
Who else? My mom is still listening. Do you know what I've just remembered? As a kid, I used to have a little walkie-talkie set, and I used to broadcast to my mom from upstairs to downstairs. She was my listener of one. So, Mom, I hope you're proud of me. I've now progressed to 37 listeners, 36 more than when I was a kid.
Your mom was not listening to you. I have news for you. That receiver might have been on. This is one thing that I really want in my house, even though it's not big enough to justify it. I so want a traditional wired intercom system. A friend of mine in Cleveland grew up in a house with 6 brothers and sisters, and it was a 3-story house. It wasn't particularly huge footprint or anything, but it's hard to keep track of everybody, and they had an intercom system, and I just was
Great shot there.
absolutely fell in love with it right away.
30-15. Better than last gallery pending.
Come on, Tony. Your attacking shots into the corners are great.
Yeah, and he had that really nice straight force to the dead on with some, you know, like good intention, and he just needs to get out of that end.
Oh wow, he's
40-15, better than last.
just letting loose some of the frustration.
John Murphy says, I want to play in Green Tree. I'll tell you,
There we go.
Green Tree, the court on Long Island.
Yep.
I did give them a call a little while back and tried to sneak my way in, to no avail, unfortunately.
No.
Who did you call?
Do you know what I promised I wouldn't say? I got a
Okay.
little bit of inside info, but don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Well, I know there was
Receiver leads. Chase is better
There
than
was
last gallery.
some play there a couple of years ago when Anders Cohen was trying to play every court. I believe he somehow got on court with the
One game to
British
love.
ambassador to the United States.
All right. Wow. Okay, there's another.
Reminds me also, because of course Prince Edward was quite keen to play as part of his tour
Yes.
in 2018, but they didn't quite
Couldn't pull it
manage
off.
to do it.
Couldn't pull that off, huh?
The property's rented by the UN, so it's the Whitney family don't really have the right to allow access, and for
Well.
security reasons as well.
If Edward can't play there, I don't feel so bad.
I feel less rejected, that's right.
Whereas he did play Fairlawn on his tour as part of the UK to
Oh,
play
tell-
all the
tell us
courts.
about Fairlawn. I don't think I know that one.
Fairlawn is in the western edge of Kent,
Okay.
It's not
border
far,
of Wa-
it's not far from
Kent and
Tunbridge, is it?
Sussex. Yep.
It's not far from Tunbridge, which is where my mom is.
And it's a Bickley court.
It's a Bickley court, is it? I didn't know that.
But it's been in private ownership for a while now.
Oh,
Come on, Tony, you've got to get
racket
those.
errors so often generate racket errors. You just never know. Now, this may be apocryphal, but I swear I heard this from the horse's mouth. Rob Fahey once said that if he could hit a racket error on every shot, he would, because it introduces
Je ne sais quoi.
a level of indecision to every point. Even a ball that looks like
30-15.
a fairly easy one, is not rotating or not rotating the way that you think, and it's generally to your advantage. Unfortunately, these guys are just too good and happen to hit the ball near the center of the strings a bit too often to do it on purpose.
Server leads 30-15. Hazard worse than one. $30 Hazard one.
And again, Tony, here we go. Galleries.
Just got to keep that down.
Missed the galleries. Going for it, though.
Oh, I sprayed it up. Leon's going to crush that. Gets another easy shot back.
Oh, that was almost.
Crushes it again.
Here we go.
Oh,
Poor T.
in fairness, that was coming across him at quite a pace.
Time, please.
He made the decision to change the direction of the ball. It might have been better to play that in the direction it was coming from.
His footwork is
40-30.
impeccable,
Server
though.
leads. Two games to love, second set.
It's a good thing Tony also has the heart of a musician. He will be able to soothe himself at the conclusion of this 5 days with his own music.
So he's shouting to himself up there. Oh, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So when I was talking to him in the locker room, he felt that he'd taken his foot off the gas towards James Dodgson a little bit.
Josh Dodson.
Sorry, Josh Dodgson.
Yep.
And he was saying, I feel like I need to just get more angry with the game. And I think that's what you're seeing right there. He's just trying to fire himself up. He's trying to get angry, get aggressive, find something. Like maybe that.
That's a nice shot.
Great defense from Tony there.
Find something to really fire back at Leon.
So this is the point now where he really needs to try and get down service and get that first chase.
He's been down the hazard end too long, hasn't he? Oh, there's nothing you can do about that, Tony. Right into the nick.
15-30.
It's a good force. That would have been in dead-ons if Leon hadn't hit it anyway. He had to hit it.
Good aggression.
Nice that return. Liam then popped the shot up and Tony had the dead on.
Those are the serves that Tony's not dealing with.
Good.
30-40.
And Leon knows it.
He's right back at it.
Here comes another one. Hits it, but it comes out to him.
Oh, Lord.
It was an easy out to last gallery. That
Tough
got put
love.
away.
Just missed the dead on.
That's right.
Where does it go? In the grill.
And now we're at deuce. Tony was just up 30 love, but seconds ago.
Out of court.
Out of court.
Here comes the serve again.
Advantage server.
That's better. Game 3 love.
So hard to pick your moments for the big shot in this game. You do need to, at this level, you do need to be patient in the point from time to time, but then when it's,
There we go.
there we go.
Hey.
Come on back.
Takes the last gallery. Good tactical play from Hollins.
Many veteran amateurs at these weekend tournaments, when you come back after being in the desert for a while over there, they say, "Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while."
That's a tight shot. In return, he gets a loose one from
In the
Leon.
gallery again, Tony. Don't fool around. That's a nice
it.
shot.
Frank,
15 love.
Tony does have the tight shots in there. He just has to find them.
he's happy about that. For these sidewalls.
Let's see if Tony can. He left it.
Ooh.
So this game, the past few games have been about Leon's serve. Tony's going to be happy that he's got that last gallery in the bank here to get up the other end when Leon gets to 40, or if he can get another chase here. He's really not dealing with Leon's serve at all. Again, an easy return.
15-30.
Not a lot of grunting in this game. It seems like lawn tennis now, I don't watch it all the time, but when I do, it's like nearly everybody grunts in a very distracting way. I've heard that there's some tactical advantage to trying to alter how the opponent hears the shot being returned or something like that. All I know is that it sounds like everybody's about to fall apart out there.
40-30, just Leon Smart. Tony has the service end, at least.
We have other ways of intimidating our opponent in real tennis.
That's right, that's right.
I'm going to say a couple shout-outs. In the UK, Chris Vigrass, hello, good evening. I hope you and Gail are well, and hello to the Vigrass family and the Fay family.
Receiver leads Chase last gallery. Fault.
John's comments. Have you got more shout-outs?
I was going to watch some tennis now.
I'm just reading John Murphy's comments. John, thank you for the comments. It's great. He says, Ken, when you leave to go back to the desert, they say it's been nice knowing you.
I've heard that far too many times.
All right, so Leon gets the next game. This is, at the moment, looking like a crushing victory for Leon. Tony trying to stay in this in any way that he can. Plays his railroad, comes out to fault.
Is that your mother, Dorothy?
That's my mum.
I have many, many Dorothys in my family. Lovely name.
Tony, don't put it on the roof.
John Murphy is having an incredible conversation with himself here.
We're listening, John.
I love John.
Well, I think we're having an incredible conversation with ourselves, so in fairness, it's no different.
It's a good point. Oftentimes